Thank you so much for having me tonight. Super grateful to be here. I'm pretty sure I came out of the womb loving the wilderness, and by 3 months old, I was camping with my family on the North Fork of the Skycomish at Troublesome Creek. My dad fished and my mom watched after us kids, and this is how it went for days on end, fishing, getting wet, hiking, and really just setting up home outside. Upon returning back to the suburbs of good old Kenmore, my dad would smoke his catch over alderwood, and to this day, the smell of smoking wood chips gives me pure, visceral joy. In my adulthood, I've adapted my own relationship with the outdoors and have come to respect the wild sometimes more than humanity. The sound of a river making its way over granite, turning corners over and under trees. The smell of baking pine needles in the high Sierra, blue sky above, no sound to be heard. My wetsuit-clad body diving under salty waves, nothing in the distance but the horizon and maybe a seal. Dripping cedars and moist ferns, the scent of wet, earthy, mushroomy goodness. The ever-quiet, majestic desert with her crystal granite rocks and cactus for days. These places all have a story, and I love to listen. For as long as I can remember, I've been gathering love, energy, and inspiration from these wild natural places and using her fuel to write my own story. Every rock, feather, crystal, bone, seed, branch, and leaf collected is a reminder of the most beautiful system I have witnessed. I took a year off after high school, and my only agenda was to be a snowboard bum in Tahoe. It was on the mountain where I discovered my interest in food. I moved back home, went to culinary school, and learned as much as I could about organic farming, composting, and big agriculture. I discovered what I didn't want to support in the food industry and what I was determined to accomplish in the food industry. And I learned just how much I love chocolate. I'll never forget the day I discovered that chocolate comes from the seed of a fruit. It blew my mind. I was working at Canlis, my only pastry chef job, and that day I knew I wanted to become a chocolatier. With chocolate, I could dive deeper into the social aspect and environmental aspect of farming, and I could use chocolate as my art form. Chocolate was my life, but still I had a deep-rooted cosmic womb that yearned for nature, and so I brought nature into my work. As an homage to Northwest tradition and to my family, I found that chocolate is the perfect ingredient to smoke over alderwood. I began collecting rocks, sticks, and earth to use in my chocolate sculptures, and infused wild roots, leaves, and medicinal herbs into chocolate. And this was just the beginning of bringing the wild into my desserts. After working as a chocolatier for years, I started my own organic dessert business, Hot Cakes. I began at the Ballard Farmers Market selling take-and-bake molten cakes in mason jars. Staying true to my love for the woods, I made sure these cakes could be taken on the trail and baked around a campfire. It became vital that my desserts would be woven into my passion for nature. Hotcakes was about 4 years old when I began to question what my career was doing to better preserve nature. Supporting organic farmers has always been non-negotiable, but I've wanted to go deeper into supporting wildlife and wild places. I began to feel like chocolate and the food industry didn't fit into my heart any longer, that there are wild animals and forests that need saving, and I felt stuck in an industry that sometimes felt like it's more a part of the problem than it is a part of the solution. But food has been my life, and abandoning it also didn't feel right. So I've decided to put hotcakes to work as a vehicle to educate myself and others and support those who are fighting. I've created the Wilderness Collection, 4 caramel sauces infused with ingredients you would find on a hike, like stinging nettles that I harvest myself, juniper berry, white sage, and campfire smoke. Our smoked chocolate chips and s'mores kits are also a part of this collection, and 10% of the sales are donated to various wildlife conservation organizations. So here I am, coming into my 35th year of life, and I'm beginning to feel like I understand what it takes to always live from my heart in its ever-changing ways. And for me now, and as far as I can tell, forever going forward, my heart is for the preservation, appreciation, and love for the wild that exists around us. Thank you.